One thing I do love is when people comment on my videos, because it's just fun interacting with fellow collectors. It's fantastic. It's like one of the best experiences of doing this, ranting in YouTube. But one comment that was posted on one of my videos that I posted on a separate website outside of YouTube. The comment was, Hasbro doesn't have a price problem. They have a listening problem. And my first reaction was, I looked at that comment, I was like, man, motherfucker, you don't know what you're talking about. Get the fuck out of here. but then, fast forward a few weeks later, maybe about 2 weeks later, a week later, something like that. I forget exactly when. But I was sitting on one of those couples double date things where your wife or girlfriend or significant other has a friend, and their friend happens to be married to someone or dating someone who on a sort of macro level enjoys something you might like. They're like, oh, you like football? He once went to a football game. Can't you guys be best friends? Like, it's like a husband play date. I hate that shit. Like, I've been on so many husband play dates, my head's gonna spin. It's like you're just sitting there in a room staring blankly at a television during Sunday brunch, thinking, God, just let it all end. Just let it all end. And then that comment popped back in my head as I was just trying to meditate my way into the end of brunch, and it got me to thinking: does Hasbro really have a listening problem? Just a listening problem? And I think there's some merit to that argument. I think Oh Boy was actually onto something. I think Hasbro does have a listening problem. Case in point, the last Haslab, which I won't go into too much detail, but they had a listening problem. They didn't listen to their fans, and it failed. Let's go back to another Haslab project. The Rancor, they didn't listen to their fans, and it failed. Let's go back. Let's look at that Reva lightsaber. See, if they just made it the Grand Inquisitor lightsaber, it probably would have had a shot. But they decided to not listen to decided not to read the room properly, and think that this character was going to be more popular than she actually was, instead of her just being annoying. And it didn't sell because people were like, why am I going to spend $500 on someone who's annoying? And I feel like they have a listening problem. And you look at one of their franchises in particular, G.I. Joe. They had, and still kind of do have, a listening problem. The people said, we want these characters. We want these decos. And for the longest time, they didn't listen. They did it first because they changed the deco from that nasty gold and silver, loud, looking like a 70s disco like set. Like, those were some bad colors on those first lines of the classified line. The first waves of those classified lines. But like they listened and they switched it up. And then we said, hey, we want some other characters other than Roadblock. What did they give us? More Roadblock. And then we said, hey, we'd really like if you put out a few more figures from that Cobra Island. And they didn't listen. And the Cobra Island just became an absolute disaster. Instead of overproducing, they completely underproduced, and it was just a disaster. But it's like, they have a legit listening problem. It's coming to a point where it's starting to boil over, where they think they know more than us, the paying customer. And It's like, how many times do you need to learn a lesson before it becomes like cemented in your brain? Give us what we ask for. It's so crazy because you look like McFarlane's just as bad at this too. Cause I swear to God, I stopped buying McFarlane Batmans because I'm so fucking over Batman from McFarlane. It's like, Batman's my favorite character, but the oversaturation of McFarlane is it's become biblical. But like, so they're just as guilty. It's like there's a lot of companies that are very much guilty of this. But like, just listen to us. And the funny thing is, when G.I. Joe, when they started listening to us, all of a sudden, they became the hottest line in the toy game. I'm sorry, in the figure game, G.I. Joe Classified is up there. High-end collectors collect them. Regular collectors collect them. Normies who just want to go grab one or two here and there, they collect them. It's the hottest line. Why? Because they listened. And then Emily, oh God, that woman, she comes along and just decides to start effing it up. Luckily, it looks like they're gonna put her on Dungeons and Dragons or whatever the hell they're putting her on. Hopefully she stays there and we don't see her anymore in G.I. Joe, because she can go wherever the hell she needs to go. Quick fun fact. So a buddy of mine watched my video on Emily and her pronoun nonsense, and he said to me, he was like, yeah, you talking all this stuff. He was like, listen, quick question. If you were stuck on a desert island with Emily and you had nowhere, there was no chance of you getting rescued, would she look like that? Would she look like some kind of snack? And I looked at my phone and I just kind of thought for a second, like some kind of snack, like Jeffrey Dahmer kind of snack. I don't know. Like a Hannibal Lecter kind of snack. Like, yo, what kind of snack is she looking like? What are you talking about? Anyway, that was just quick side note. Anyway, but here's the thing. They do have a listening problem, but that extends out to one very important thing: the freaking price. Like, yo, there's a reason why all these coupons are online. You can find them on Amazon and all these other websites. Reason why you can find them is because they're not listening. We're saying, hey, we're willing to spend this. And what do? They charge us more. Then they give us coupons to bring it back and say, hey, oh no, well, it's on sale now. No, it shouldn't be on sale. It should just be $20. How hard is that? Make your products $20. Your distribution stinks, so make your products $20. Why do we have to pay for your bad decisions? Why do we have to pay for that? Why are we paying for you not listening? Why are we paying for tooling on figures that we don't want because you thought it would be good for us? Once again, the dynamic needs to change when it comes to Hasbro, and I'm gonna throw this out to McFarlane too, because McFarlane's starting to be on some shit too with some of these releases, and I'm just like, dude, like I'm tired of Batman. Like I'm walking that line with Superman, and we just got a regular Catwoman from the Arkham games. We just got a regular Catwoman after all these years. It's like, dude, step your game up here. Like there's so many characters that you could do, and so many versions of those characters that you could attack and get at us. Case in point, a regular Wonder Woman. Just do that. Another thing McFarlane can do that people are asking for: start at least shrinking down those pins in the joints. Start shrinking those down a bit. Like, even if the figures don't pose that well, start shrinking down the pins. Like, do something, because like Hasbro's going pinless for the most part. They tend to want to cheap out on us every now and then, but they're going pinless. Start shrinking them pins, dog. Like I appreciate the pins match, but like start shrinking them down. It's like listen to your fans. Listen, McFarlane's starting to listen. The joints are starting to get better on their figures. Like the QC is starting to slowly get better on those figures. Listen, everyone, listen, and we'll hand you our money. Just listen. You do have all these companies have a listening problem, but the ones that don't tend to get our money, and those ones tend to be the high-end ones because they do this thing called interacting with their fans and reading the temperature in the room. They realize they see the climate, and they see exactly what people would want to complement their shelves, and they go and give it to us. It's not that hard. I don't know, but yeah, that comment kind of caught me some kind of way, but obviously. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Like, do you think Hasbro has just a listening problem? Do you think they have a listening and we're paying for their finance problems? So and we're also currently paying for their bad decisions. Let me know what you think in the comments, or am I just way off? Let's chop it up. Let's chop it up in the comments as always. But yeah, with that said, be safe. Be good. And it's the Drunken Prime cracking open another beer and signing off.